People buy planners with zero clue how to plan, and it drives me insane. I don't get it. I mean, a lot of people, they think the planner's a problem. I buy a planner, then I buy a new planner, and then I buy a new planner. Every planner I buy, nothing ever gets done. And what I've realized for a lot of folks is they don't actually have a plan. They have no idea how to properly plan. So I find a lot of my days spent with people is saying, all right, well, what time is this going to take place and that take place? And they don't know. So what happens is there's this frantic pace that they have going on inside of like things aren't going to get completed. And so they freak out. And really, as we break this down today, I'm going to walk you through the 8 things, the 8 mistakes you're making while you're planning your day, and also the things you can do to fix those. Things you must stop doing, things you must start doing. And when you focus on these properly, it's going to alleviate that stressful space. It's also going to give you way more progress, way more productivity, efficiency, and effectiveness in the things you do on a daily basis. And then as you approach the days and get better at this rhythm and this flow, you'll find that you can get more done in less time. But I'm telling you right now, the mistake is that a lot of people have no plan. They got tools, you got the little apps, you got the planner, and you got these things, but you don't know how to use them yet. So we're going to teach how to use them today. For me, I know that when I was starting out, like, run my business, run my life, I was running into problems all day long. I couldn't separate myself from work to go back to my mental space at home. When I would be at home, I'd be thinking about work. Then at work, I'd be thinking about other stuff. Like my brain couldn't stay dialed in. And so at this point in time, I realized I got to have certain stuff in place. I have routines and structure and schedule that is held so I know what I'm doing when I'm doing it so I can plan my day properly. In fact, the way that I run my life is a way where most people on one side of the coin are unaware of what happens on the other one. When I'm at work, people don't know the structure of how my life runs typically outside of work. And when I'm at home, the family is rarely fully aware of what happens in my work windows, like truly happens. They know I film videos and this kind of stuff, but this isn't all of my life, right? And so when I learned to do this, I can have a flow between morning routines and evening routines and time with my, where I do full-time here work and create and coach and speak and talk, and then time with my wife and my kids and training my kids, training my wife, and traveling around, all these different things I do, and still have time to watch movies and TV shows, right? I can still be a present, almost a regular human, we'll call it, outside of work, but I get a lot of stuff done every day comparatively to most people in my industry with how much I have going on. That's what people reach out and go, hey man, how do you get all that done? And I'm going to break down for you the mistakes that we all typically are making and how to fix them, because when you do, you can accomplish stuff. Because nowadays, people are really just poorly planning. It's really what it is. You have the ability, you have the intention, you have the ability to stay focused, you have all the aspirations, you have what you need. You just are missing the planning. You're missing that little piece that's separating the vision and the ability to execute on as a technician of what it is you do. And so let's rock and roll through these, we'll call it areas you got to work on. Now, number 1 is you need to stop planning next week this week. Because a lot of us, we all have these different ideas and processes we want to get done, but what we're thinking about is, well, just next week. I got 5 days to get this thing done, all these 5 things done. So you want to write the book and launch the podcast and all these things you want to do, but you're only thinking about next week. You can't do that all next week. To be honest, some things should be 6 months out, 5 months out, 3 months out. And so what I recommend is you plan 4 weeks at minimum out, right? You can get that month going right in time. You can kick something out a month to revisit like I actually do, but I go, I'm going to plan 4 to 5 weeks out. My planner is always 4, if not 5 weeks out. And the way that I look at it is the things I want to work on, they may not be right now things. There's a book I want to write. It's not a right now thing. There's stuff I want to create for a brand. It's not a right now thing, because I have things that do happen to be right now things. But if I keep all that stuff in my head, I stress myself out. I can't work on the right now things. So I push them out. What ends up happening is now I find in the future a little alert I set for myself that goes, hey, it's time to refocus and pay attention. Can you fit the book in right now? If I can, cool. If I can't, I don't. But the idea is really planning things out multiple weeks in advance so that you are not planning next week right now. The way that my life works, I plan 4 weeks out, and then I show up to this next week and it's organized exactly how I dreamed it would be, because I made this 5 weeks ago. And then I'm not stressed. I get things done. Projects are getting completed consistently. I'm making progress every single day towards them because it's planned properly. So stop planning next week this week. Number 2 is stop starting your day out of control. If you start your day and you're not in massive control of it, I think you're going to have a lot of problems, because you end up being a leaf in the wind. You wake up and then the world takes over, and now you're answering messages and emails. You're at the whim of everybody else. You feel like a leaf in the wind, and you get burned out. You get stressed out because it wasn't your day. It was everybody else's day that they're pulling you through. And for me, I find if I can just start my day in control, a morning routine, an easy piece, just here's 10 minutes in the morning what I do. Here's, 50 minutes in the morning is what I do. I get myself into my group before I start entering the world. You start centered and anchored and in a different control space. And that control space, it opens way more doors for you to access, because when you're in control, you can make adjustments and decisions on the fly you couldn't do previously. So really paying attention to how I'm living my life now in the real time is big, but it's got to start with how I start my day. Create some kind of routine. Number 3 is stop seeking ease. Everyone wants the easy route. The easy route gives you nothing but the same thing everybody else has. See, I found that for me, as I look at life, I want to build my strength threshold. I want to build my capabilities, and I want to build them in my mind. So what happens when my brain gets to that point of like, man, this is hard, I go, let me lean in, because I know it's hard for everybody. And if I can get good at this, if you can get good at this, then you'll have an edge over everybody else. So when somebody else hits that wall, they stay there, and everybody else you're go up against, they get stuck behind you too. So the idea is, where can you build that strength? Where can you build that threshold of your abilities to go hard when you need to and not fall to the wayside like everybody else does? And so seeking ease is a different thing, because now you are proactively creating a better skill set for yourself. And that is the thing that we've got to go after. It's like when you lift weights, you don't go to lift weights to do it always easy. You want to push yourself a little bit. Same thing for life. Find out in life where when you look at your day, it's going to be hard, go, I'm a buckle in, because the things that you really want to accomplish and achieve, they're only possible when what you're doing now feels easy. Only way it'll feel easy is if you do it the hard way. I wish I could say I feel sorry for you. I don't. It's how it works. It's what I had to do. Everybody's got to do. But lean in. Find the hard things. Do not seek ease. Number 4 is stop copying people's days exactly. When you plan your day out, plan your day out. Don't copy my day. Don't copy somebody else's day. Make your own day. And then what you do is, from that day, you refine it. You figure out what works, what's not working, what can be improved, what can be adjusted. Like, I think a lot of people go, Anthony, what does your day look like? Can you show me a perfect example? And I go, I'll tell you what my day is, but I'm different than you. I have different things I like, different people I have in my life, different tasks, different everything. So if I give you my stuff, it's not really going to fit your world. So, I'm happy to, but it might be a waste of your time completely. And the only time I'd recommend you actually getting somebody's life uncovered is if you go into a point where you take their life with the idea of refinement. I want to learn how to do a little bit of this so I can refine this. If you can refine it, things get much better. But you've got to start in your mind with some kind of mentality of, well, how exactly do I create this to be a fit for me? So find your own thing and make your own, what I call rhythm, the flow of how your day feels as you go through things. Don't copy mine, create your own. Next one is stop saying you'll do it tomorrow. You're not going to do it tomorrow. Not because you don't want to, but because tomorrow is just an arbitrary time. You should be doing it tomorrow at a certain time. Here's when I'm going to do it at this time. Because most of the time we'll say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. You show up tomorrow and you forget about it and you go, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And it keeps on going over and over again. So what you must do is allocate every hour to a specific action. If I say this action is my thing, I'm going to do it at this time tomorrow, or this time on Tuesday, or this time on Friday, right? Allocate it to an action on that day. Don't just say tomorrow, because tomorrow isn't real. So I need you to step back and go, where can I create this very specific space and allocate time? Next one, number 6, is you are not overwhelmed. You're maximized. The language of overwhelm creates this moment of like, there's too much. I can't handle, I can't do any more. Well, if you can't do any more, you can't have any more. You don't get to have more success. You get to have the amount of success you've had, and that's it. But if you actually want to have more, we have to do more. And that comes in a framing of the language different, which says, I'm maximized. I am not overwhelmed. I'm at my max right now, but I can increase a max. I can increase my max capacity for my lungs. I can increase my max strength. I can increase anything. I can increase my maximum focus time, right? If I can focus my mind over time and maximize that, I can take on more. I can accomplish more. I can receive more to my life. But not if you frame it as too much, overwhelmed, can't do anything else. No, you're a maximized. You can always increase your maximum. That's got to be something you anchor down to. Number 7 is you don't set boundaries. Because you don't set boundaries, you don't hold boundaries. And because of that, people get in and things, they penetrate your space of what you want to get done. So you're not focused. You get no actions completed. Projects are pushed out too far. Your dreams die. So you have to set boundaries and hold them ruthlessly. If the answer is no, it's no. Set the boundary and then hold the boundary. Hold that space for what you've promised yourself is going to get done and when. And so when this thing comes to pass and someone says, hey, can you do this for me? You go, no, can't do it. Hold the no. Set the boundary. Be ruthless with that boundary. No one needs it but you. And if you really want to get this dream met, created, experienced, like you've got to be okay with getting to a space where you hold the space and have a triggered response. So if somebody asks you something, I can do it. Can't do it. If you can't do it, no, I can't do it. Done, right? Hold the boundary. recovery. And number 8, the last one is you don't have to build in breaks, but you should, right? The way I look at it is we have these moments in place where like we can flow through stuff and people say build breaks in. You don't have to. If you can rock and roll for a good chunk of time, do it. But I believe you should because it helps reset, refresh, and help you re-engage in a moment. So the way I look at stuff is I go, you don't have to build breaks in, but do. If I have a window of like a 6-hour day, it's hard to go 6 straight hours. Like it really is hard to go 6 straight hours. But what I'll do is go, can I go for 2 and then give a 30-minute break? Then go for 2 more, but 30-minute break, right? Can I do that? That's 5 hours and I can work that last minute and get it knocked out and done, right? It seems like it's not much, but that's a good solid 5 hours within 6 of getting actual work done, as opposed to like being dead around hour 3 and getting nothing else done the rest of the day, right? So build in breaks, schedule them, use the timers. If you got a timer, get yourself a timer, and I want you to go to work and structure a break into your day so you can get more done. Because if you don't do that, if you don't structure this stuff in, then what ends up happening is all of a sudden you show up burned out. And even if the plan was an amazing plan, you don't have the mental capacity to do it. So schedule a break to give yourself a physiological window of time to reset, refresh, so you can re-engage properly. If you apply this to your life, you'll find that you can break these mistakes you're doing, get more done in less time, and really plan your day amazingly. So now your planner is an amazing tool that you can utilize properly. That's it. Go do this stuff. Make sure you check out this video to carry on to more parts of your life to give you some more insights of how to make shift happen in your life. Because I'm real big on always doing that dark work to make shift happen.